I used to tell people Madagascar is a rich place. And some people laugh at me. I even say it's a promised land. 80% of the plants in Madagascar are endemic, meaning it's only here and nowhere else. 32 million people in terms of population. The population itself is very, very diverse. Asia and Africa and Europe, it's quite a mix. So, yeah, it's a very interesting place.
Hey, Francis, it's a real privilege as a church to be working with you guys. Maybe not everybody knows you. Tell me a bit about Francis and Madagascar.
Wow, okay, that's a good question. Hello, this is Francis Adja, originally from Benin. I'm married to Marielle from Burkina Faso. We've been staying in Madagascar for the last 15 years. Together we have 3 kids, all born in Madagascar. Madagascar is the 4th biggest island in the world, and the level of remoteness makes distances harder to travel. We have a number of projects that we are involved with. The first one that comes to mind is the agriculture and nutrition project, a basic healthcare project, finally the medical boat project. For a whole 3 years, it hasn't rained in the south. A big portion of the population struggle to get 1 meal a day. There are places where people have to walk 15 to 20 kilometers just to try and get drinking water. Your whole life revolves around, okay, how do we get water for today? Those who have organized a wooden cart and put the bucket in. Those who don't have, just put the buckets and the jerry cans on their head, women and children, and they just walk. This is a daily condition because to drink, to eat, to cook, all of that, you need that water. And it reduces your ability to do something else. It's like you are almost disabled from doing many other things. These are the conditions that not just a few, but the whole villages, are going through. This is 1/3 of the country. Imagine the dynamics around that. People were forced to eat cactus leaves. We have been to places where I saw children eating cactus leaves, and that's the only food that was there. And my heart was just broken into pieces. It is said that 30 to 35% of all the children of Madagascar are under severe malnutrition. So, yeah, that's the life of the people. I think it was Martin Luther who was saying, if the gospel is not relevant to the issues that people are facing daily in their environment, then it is not the gospel at all.
What is your mission to Madagascar?
To see a gospel transformation movement that ignites discipleship and impacts all the spheres of the country. To see Madagascar become the food basket of the Indian Ocean islands, to have enough for themselves and even export to other surrounding islands.
Sure.
The main issue is actually food. One wants to start by handing out food, and that's what we did, which is okay in an emergency situation. But then very quickly you realize, wow, okay, how long will we be able to do this? Even if we could, then what are we teaching people? How about a farm where, we plant and produce enough for our, production, but also train other people to do the same? We do have what we call the Hope Farm in Brickaville. People said, well, veggie never grow here. Don't waste your time. It's a dead piece of land. But we had prayed, dedicated the land to the Lord before starting. The very first harvest, actually, of veggies were donated to an orphanage as the first fruit of the land. And then really from there, amazing experience. Today we grow cucumbers. They grow like wild grass in that place. We don't even count them anymore. We harvested 300 kgs of tomatoes last year. We tried cassava, eggplant, beans. We harvested 10,000 kg. That was 10 tons of turmeric. And it was amazing. I think the biggest impact is really the mindset change, because I think many young people see agriculture as, this is for those who have failed in life, like you've tried. But producing food, we should be proud. It should be something that, we're exciting to do. So we're trying to change that mindset, because we want to produce, but not just that, we want to empower many, many, many young people and literally having an impact on food production and food supply in Madagascar. We take in groups of 20, 25 young people every 3 months. And I see this as a key that the Lord has given to us. And actually see multiplication of those farms. Imagine we have this Hope Farm replicated all over the place, especially in the south. That's also one of my dreams. I know it's going to be more challenging with the weather conditions there, but imagine places where people will be able to grow their own food and produce enough for their families and the whole region. That would be amazing.
Amen. Agree with that.
When we come and plant a church, we start to look around what are the needs, and you will see quite quickly that healthcare is a challenge. People just simply die. People in the West or in South Africa would not even think somebody will die from this thing. But that's the sad reality here. Basic healthcare program is, I would say, like a long-term project that we are doing alongside with the villages. You must remember that in Madagascar, 70 to 80% of people live in villages. They have to walk the whole day through the forest before they get to the nearest hospital. Lose an arm or a leg from infected cuts. Imagine a lady pregnant, malaria being a common thing. She will have to walk for 20, 30 kilometers so she can get to the next hospital. So this is, I would say, one of our main projects, and we've seen the impact. The Ministry of Health conducted a study, found out that the malaria was the #1 killer in the whole of the East Coast. And then 3 years later, they went back to all the villages where we had clinics and did a study again. And they realized malaria was no longer an issue. We have about 50 bush clinics spread across the east coast of Madagascar, helping a population of about 250,000 people. I mean, we literally have lots of demand on asking us, please come here, because they have seen from other villages the impact. We're not just rushing to start a clinic. It also costs some funds to start the clinic and the first installment with medicine and all that. So yeah, these are some of the challenges, but I personally feel that it is making a difference, and it is really I think healthcare is one of the practical ways that people see the touch of God. People see the love of God being expressed to them and to their villages. And the third thing that I can share is a boat. The main issue that it is addressing is really isolation and remoteness. It's going to be a medical boat. One can say, well, but you do have the bush clinics already. Well, the thing is, there's still thousands of villages that are only reachable by the way of water. We were trying to get food supplies and medicine down to the south. Our main base is in Tamatave. To the capital, that's 1 day already. Then from the capital, Antananarivo, to the south, that's another 4 days. You can only get stuff down there after 5 days.
And also, there's a limitation to a car.
Absolutely.
You can only pack it so high.
That's right.
Yeah.
But with the boat, imagine the amount. You could carry 20 times more. And a boat from Tamatave to the south would take a maximum of 1 day, maybe less.
Wow.
I got in touch with this man who was like, we do have this medical boat, are you guys willing to take it? And I said, yes, of course. We've been praying for a boat for 10 years. So right now, the boat is in Wales in a place called Conwy. We're very, very excited. But we're still praying because it's not here yet. They are trying to finish the refit and then get some funding to ship it down to us. So it's going to be dentistry, ophthalmology, and they will also install something they call a water maker. It's basically a machine that takes water from the ocean and transforms it into drinkable water. And imagine the difference that can make, in places like the south of Madagascar and help us with our operating costs. So it is a big challenge, but a good challenge. And we are trusting God for that. The first resource that needs to be developed is the people, teaching them how to be good steward of the resources that God has put in the community. How to pray for themselves and for their villages. How to start using the resources that are there for food security, for health. I do meet people who are quite pessimistic and negative, and I do hear, this is never going to change. But I would say, depending where you're looking at and where you are standing and what you're trusting for. We are standing for a gospel transformation. We are trusting for the love of Christ to impact many lives. Our hope lies in the possibilities of transformation that the gospel brings. Can see this is happening already, but we want it to happen all over the country, to be multiplied over and over again.
If we now think about the people who are watching this video, what can they do to support and partner with your mission in Madagascar?
Praying for the team, praying for the unreached. For some people, it's still hard to believe that there are unreached groups, that there are places where the gospel have never reached. But this is a reality. So remember the unreached of Madagascar and the islands in terms of finances, for transport. Maybe you want to help with building a clinic. Maybe you want to help with sponsoring the doctors as he's going from village to village. Maybe you want to help with nutrition. There are all different sorts of need where one can be involved. Even maybe you want to come and share your skills. You want to give 2 weeks, 1 month, I don't know, of your time to come in and help. That will make a huge difference. And we'll be so thrilled to have you guys join the work we're doing here for God's glory and to advance the kingdom.